Every week we have the pleasure of meeting another fearless youngster guaranteed to take your breath away. Now from Indianapolis, a big Apollo welcome to Trevor Jackson.
Now, aside from those of you who specifically requested this video, a lot of you were introduced to Trevor Jackson by way of TikTok. Some of you were introduced because of Disney, and most may even know him from his music. But all of you are pondering the same question. What happened to Trevor Jackson? Trevor Jackson was born on August 30th, 1996 to Cam Baxter and Kelvin Jackson in Indianapolis, Indiana, making him a Virgo, shout out to y'all, and also their youngest child, as Trevor has an older brother named Ian Jackson. The city of Indianapolis is known as the racing capital of the world due to its religious hostings of the Indy 500, the Brickyard 400, and the U.S. Grand Prix Formula One race. Now, the state of Indiana in itself has its own beautiful history that makes it one of our iconic 50 states, but the main one I'm sure everybody cares about is that it's the home state of the Jacksons. Any relation? At just 8 years old, Trevor was casted as young Simba on Broadway for the national tour of the Lion King musical. He worked the stage for about 3 years until his talents were able to transfer over to the small screen. Trevor's family was said to have interest in basketball, but this was of no influence on Trevor because he was on stage as early as 3. Trevor has stated that he grew up influenced by creatives such as Michael Jackson, Ray Charles, Donny Hathaway, and Chris Brown. Trevor's talents consist of singing, dancing, acting, playing guitar, and tap dancing. Do y'all understand the talent and skill you have to possess to not only learn tap dance, but master it? Lord! He started performing at local venues within his city of Indianapolis as well as across the U.S., leading to his own solo dance routine on Showtime at the Apollo.
You shot. How old are you, man?
9.
9 years old.
In 2010, Trevor guest starred on an episode of CBS's Cold Case as Leon and starred as Albert in a short segment for the film A Moment of Youth in 2011. As Trevor was still on the rise in his early days of the industry, he ended up joining an underground group called Before 2012 that held other up-and-coming artists as members also. Though before the group could really take off, individual success was the cause of their demise. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any info on who was actually in the group aside from Trevor, so we move on. With his role as young Simba on Broadway and many others under his belt, this opened the door for Trevor to get cast in the final 2 seasons of Eureka on the Sci-Fi Channel when he was 13 as Kevin Blake from 2010 to 2012. In 2011, he won the Young Artist Award for Best Performance in a TV series for his role as Willie Blue in the NBC drama Harry's Law, right before his guest appearance on Disney Channel's Austin and Ally. He played Trish's talented cheating boyfriend Trent, and I can personally note this as my first time seeing Trevor, and obviously, as a 10-year-old black girl, I liked what I saw. But I mainly remember being annoyed at that racially motivated and rigged-ass dance competition between his character and Austin. Like, look at this shit!
My God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
Y'all know Austin didn't eat that shit. Austin barely ate at all. Nigga would flip and call it a day. Just like that Adam Hicks boy with his upper body roll he would hit at every given chance. Disney always letting the white boys get away with the bare minimum. Austin and Ally was my least favorite show on Disney. Remember when they gave the black girl Austin dated, played by the lovely Kiersey Clemens, bad breath and made her dad, the black music exec, an asshole to Austin? Yeah, not gonna lie to y'all, I was still watching Disney in high school, so yeah, I switched from my Grays or Loving Hip Hop to Casey Undercover real quick, okay? So while we're on Disney, let's talk about Trevor's other roles on the channel, shall we? The year 2012 brought me amazing things. You know, after I realized the world wasn't gonna end, I got my first iPhone, my first pair of Beats, again, this is 2012, and a new bike. I was living, bitch. That year also brought me one of my favorite movies ever. Not Disney movies, movie period. Let It Shine. From the representation of the black church and gospel music to overcoming insecurities as a person, but specifically as a creative. Plus cameos from Chloe and Halle, this movie was perfection, bitch. I mean magnifique. To me. Do not get in my comments trying to be film critics about my comfort movie, please. I'll just delete it. Now, Trevor was casted alongside Coco Jones and Tyler James Williams. Now that's a big 3 for your ass, bitch. And I always found it ironic that Trevor played a character who was supposed to represent a pretty face with no talent when he's the exact opposite. Disney clearly understood this as they casted him for the role of Chris in general, but also spun the block and casted Trevor as Lincoln on Casey Undercover with his rumored ex-girlfriend Zendaya. Yeah, the South remembers. 2012 will mark a great year for Trevor, with his role in Let It Shine being added to his resume, along with his role in the film A Beautiful Soul as Quincy Smith, alongside icons such as Vanessa Bell Calloway and Golden Brooks. The year could only get better with the record deal from Atlantic Records. He signed with Atlantic in 2012, but didn't release his first single with the label until 2013. Now, his first single with the label, titled Like We Grown, was my shit, and the video matched up with the song perfectly. Starring Zendaya, yeah, there she go again. The video, of course, had the classic 2000s video trope of the boys scene chasing the girl and a lovely little two-step scene between the two. Now, because real ones knew it was a hit, Trevor was in high demand for more music, which pushed for his EP titled #New Thing in September of 2013. That title in itself gives very much, which transferred over to the whole project because it was a 10 out of 10. Trevor worked with producers such as Eric Hudson, J.R. Rodham, and the Underdogs to help with his creation of this project. These same producers have worked with artists such as Kanye West, Nicki Minaj, Ciara, Chris Brown, Tyrese, and Beyonce. So it was no surprise that with their creative abilities and Trevor's talent that the EP hit the way it did. His second single, Drop It, was even featured in a McDonald's Monopoly campaign commercial. Big things, you know? Like I said, 10 out of 10 project. He even toured with Justine Scott to help bring attention to its greatness with the help of High School Nation tours. While on tour with High School Nation from 2013 to 2014, Trevor was still in the booth and on set. He starred in an episode of Criminal Minds as Tyler Rogers and had a small role on the VH1 hit series Hit the Floor. Big things. Though I'm not sure of the last official tour date, I know they were still touring until March 2014, and that during this time, Trevor released the remix to Drop It featuring B.O.B., and the Trevor train took off, bitch. In May of 2014, he was featured on the single My Girl by Diggy Simmons, and the girls were in love. Not me though. I always zoned out after Trevor's part because I was never really a fan of Diggy Simmons, but shout out to him and those of y'all that fucked with him. On July 22nd, 2014, Trevor released his single Me Likey featuring Kurt Cobain's H-Town Ho, along with the lyric video on YouTube, surprising fans as it was days before its official release. How generous! On August 3rd, 2014, he and Diggy Simmons partnered up for the Who Else But Us tour, which answered the prayers for a lot of teenage black girls at the times. And he continued to drop hits upon hits with his new single featuring Sage the Gemini titled Know Your Name on December 15, 2014. He was working with some heavy hitters of the 2010s back then. I mean Zendaya, B.O.B., and Sage the Gemini. Not only was he an amazing singer, tap dancer, and actor, he had an eye and ear for talent as well. He even shared his talents with famous Vine stars at the time, such as Leanne V. I mean, they have a whole song together called Keep Playing. I'm not joking. Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. But nonetheless, Trevor accomplished all of this before releasing his first album with Atlantic, titled In My Feelings. So after about 3 years of being signed to Atlantic, Trevor was finally able to release his first album. These record labels really let her waste creative ability, I swear. Now, the In My Feelings album is legit one of my favorite R&B projects, next to Testimony by August Alsina and Over It by Summer Walker. I discovered it one day after watching Trevor's interview with The Breakfast Club, and when I tell y'all I felt as if I opened the door to Narnia with this project, I'm not kidding. Hit after hit, bop after bop, it was a masterpiece. I know y'all remember Rock With Me. Songs like that, Turn Down, Simple As This, All Day, Bang Bang, Here I Come, and Killing It still get played
To this day.
He gave us insight on his label issues, love in the industry, his love life period, and even provided a song highlighting issues of gun violence and peace amongst the world, all at the age of 19. He even started the album off with a conversation between him and his grandmother on the phone before she prays for him. This album was full of soul, real passion. This album was so beautiful and masterfully put together, and at 16, I was mesmerized. On August 10, 2015, he released the single Simple As This along with the visual, following up with the full album release on August 28, 2015. The album featured artists like I Am Sue and Kevin Gates. Yes, Kevin Gates. Trevor describes their encounter as great and says Kevin was amazing to work with and even gave him advice to buy a lot of gold. There were 5 visuals released with this project, and that's about 5 more than Nicki has given me for Pink Friday 2, so that should tell y'all how much Trevor was feeding the fans, okay? Little fun fact, the video vixen in his videos for Rock With Me and Here I Come is influencer Ayanna Lewis. She was also one of the women on the cover of Playboy Cardi's Magnolia. Just a little factoid for the vid. So as I mentioned before, Trevor always feeds his fans, and what better way to do that than touring? In April of 2016, Trevor kicked off his In My Feelings tour, providing his audience with a vigorous performance filled with amazing vocals and choreography. Now, I'm not sure how long he was on tour for and all the locations, but I do know he hit major cities such as New York, Atlanta, and my city, H-Town, marking it a successful venture on his In My Feelings era, and I highly recommend y'all listen to that album if you haven't, because it really is a masterpiece. So in the midst of touring and promoting the masterpiece that is In My Feelings, Trevor was casted in season 2 of the ABC hit series American Crime in 2016 as Kevin LaCroix, a basketball player caught up in some SA allegations, and this was a really messy season, so y'all should tap in for sure. He starred alongside the legends Regina King and my Gemini brethren Andre 3000. This man Trevor has such an impressive catalog, y'all, and this is all before he was 21. Now, I don't know how I forgot to mention earlier that in the midst of touring, he also guest starred on the first episode of KC Undercover with Zendaya in 2015. Y'all, when I say this man was working, because did I also mention that the Kelly Rowland asked him for a feature during this time? Yeah. Now, Trevor continued to add to that acting prowess by getting casted as the lead in the Netflix movie Burning Sands in 2017. A great movie which shines a light on some of the harsher realities when pledging fraternities and sororities. He made his first appearance as Aaron on Blackish in 2017, which followed up with his reoccurring role as the character in Grownish. Any Grownish fans watching? I know they just finished up the series, and I was low-key still shocked it was going because I stopped watching when Aaron and Anna started fucking. I preferred Aaron's character when he was pro-black, you know?
Look, I just could never imagine not dating a queen.
But y'all let me know how y'all like Trevor's portrayal of Aaron in Grownish, alright? 2018 was another big year for Trevor as he was casted in many roles. Trevor had a small role in the independent film Juveniles that was about white people trying to get out the trailer park. And he played the token black. I'm so serious. The description says a college-bound teenager from the sticks fights to survive a cycle of violence. Child, anywho, he was casted in the short science fiction film Unregistered as Raker before being casted in one of his biggest roles yet. In 2018, Trevor was casted in the remake of the classic blaxploitation film Superfly as Youngblood Priest, which was produced by Future and directed by Director X. This movie came with a fire-ass soundtrack that included artists such as Her, Young Thug, Gunna, Khalid, Sleepy Brown, and Party Next Door. Fire, like I said. The film was released June 13, 2018. Shout out Gemini Movies. And grossed $6.9 million in its opening weekend, which I know I for sure contributed at least $50 to because of these 2 scenes alone. If you haven't watched already, what the fuck is you doing? During his filming of Superfly, Trevor was also recording his first album under his new label, Empire. No, not that Empire. Funny because they actually got into a legal dispute over that confusion too. The Empire distribution label has actually worked with artists such as Kendrick Lamar, Migos, and now Trevor Jackson. Just wanted to clear that up. Now, as I was saying, Trevor released his first album, Rough Drafts Part 1, on March 23, 2018, months before he would be seen on screen as Priest in Superfly. The album has 15 songs and features artists such as Lecrae and Ian J, whom he worked with previously on his In My Feelings mixtape. Trevor expressed that due to his album being recorded at the same time as his portrayal as Priest, he was given creative inspiration due to the new garnered fame he was receiving. Stating in an interview with Vlad TV that his song All I Am, featuring Lecrae, reflected his true experiences with women, just seeing him as nothing more than unlimited access to bottles in the club. Rough Drafts marked a new era for Trevor's music. He stated in interviews that he preferred to be hands-on with his music, writing, producing, singing. The man wanted to do it all. Rough Drafts Part 1 was only the beginning, as Rough Drafts Part 2 followed behind in June of 2019. He reconnected with his friend and former co-worker Dickie Simmons with an unfortunate feature from Lil Yachty. This is a Lil Yachty hate page, and y'all have been warned. Both Rough Drafts Part 1 and 2 are solid R&B projects, and as always, I recommend y'all take a listen. And for those who may have already heard it, what's your favorite songs from the two? Mine are Apocalypse and Puddles. Trevor has also stated that he has plans for Rough Drafts Part 3, so y'all make sure y'all stay tuned in for that. Now, as of recently, Trevor Jackson is known for this heinous face he made during one of his religious cover videos he does on TikTok every now and again. It became the joke of the month. Now, I saw this as a push to remind everyone of who Trevor Jackson was, because y'all was low-key trying to play with him for a minute. Myself included, because a bitch did giggle. Anywho, while releasing Rough Drafts Part 2, he was still getting active on our screens. In 2019, Trevor was casted in the YouTube series Weird City as Chester in one episode alongside the great LeVar Burton. In 2021, he was cast in the movie Someday Isles and in the short film Original Sin, 7 Sins as Boy X. He played Marcus Jennings in Sons 2, The Grave in 2022, and even had a role as the boyfriend in one of the skits on Black Lady's sketch show. This man be everywhere! His most recent roles as of 2024 was in everybody's favorite Latina from the Bronx, Jennifer Lopez's recent movie This Is Me Now as husband number 3, and he's currently closing out his role as Aaron on Grownish. Need I remind y'all who Trevor Jackson is, or did this pretty much sum it up? But for real though, Trevor Jackson is a legend, and I said what I said. From performing at the Apollo at the young age of 5 to having over 130 credits on IMDb by the age of 27, Jesus Christ. Get a man a break, y'all. He was probably stressed. But I'll tell y'all where he's been. Still working. This man don't know how to sit down. He was recently working on the music video for his new song, James Dean, and just released a new EP titled Heads Up on March 5th of this year. Like I said, he don't sit down and he don't play. So as y'all can see, Mr. Jackson is very much booked and busy, but he also seems to lead a balanced life, making sure to not get too caught up in the industry. It's always nice to see child stars grow up and be happy, you know, especially the black ones. And I always tend to remind myself that asking what happened to these creatives seems so passive aggressive, as if what they've given us wasn't enough, or as if what they're currently doing isn't enough. And making this video really put that into perspective for me, and I'm grateful. That said, thank you, Trevor Jackson, for blessing our screens and ears for so many years. You are a young legend, and I fuck with you the long way. And I thank y'all so much for watching. I enjoyed making this video, not only for y'all, but myself. And I love when I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. Tell me, what's your favorite Trevor? Singer or actor? Let me know in the comments, thank you. Y'all are amazing, and I can't wait till we meet again in the next video. So make sure you like, subscribe, and most of all, stay blessed. Mwah.
He don't know what he don't know.